Alright, let's get started. Got more than enough to get done in life. Rather than sitting around waiting for YouTube people to turn up, so we'll just get on with things. Marc bonjour. Ça va? Alrighty. Let's check, see if I've got a chassis here somewhere. Jeez, I think I've got a problem with collecting 1466 boards these days. I think I'm starting to get a few too many. And I don't think anyone has ever said that. Anyway. Alright. I went to Townsville today and picked the local store there. Had a couple of these swapped main boards. Picked them up cheap. Even as donors, they're cheaper than AliExpress, and the best thing is that they're generally in far better condition, and I have the CPUs on them, so it's possible that some of these CPUs sometimes are good. But anyway, we'll see how we go. I also finally picked up something that I've been, well, needing to get for a while, and that was a small compressor. Instead of using canned air, I've got this thingy, which you can't really see properly. Let's see, we'll just flip it over in a second. This thing here is like 119 Australian dollars, which is about 80 US dollars. It's a 3-litre tank. You can get these on eBay as well. Funnily enough, on eBay, they're about 170 Australian dollars. But yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was just going through the local Bunnings website and I saw these for 119. I thought, yeah, you beauty, this is just what I need. I need it for things like blowing the liquid out from underneath of the CPUs after I put them through the ultrasonic cleaning. That's basically when you ultrasonic clean, and even after you rinse it out, the liquid tends to stick around under the CPU. And when you put it in the oven for 20 minutes or so, it doesn't always get it out. So what I'm doing now is I blow out the water from underneath the CPU before putting it into the oven. The other thing, of course, is for iPads and things like that. When you're putting that glass down, you want to try and blow some dust out. But so all this has got is basically just, it's a paintbrush thing rather than a jet nozzle thing. And I can just it's an ideal sort of strength for doing this sort of work. You don't want a super blaster like you have on your typical 20-litre 1500 watt compressor or anything like that with the 1/4-inch fittings. These are only 1/8 inch fittings, so you're a bit limited by what you can add on to it. But like I said, it's really just meant to be a low pressure, sort of low intensity thing. So yeah, it's enough for me to get in under there and blow that water out. Let's put some alcohol in there and blow up things. Paul can't find his alcohol. You absolute plonker, Paul. You've been on the drink and now you've lost your alcohol. Yeah. So previously I was using this kind of stuff, and it's good. It's got good control on the nozzle. It's a little more intense. The velocity coming out is a lot higher. But yeah, that works, but the trouble is, it is a little bit mean to the environment in terms of the amount of metal it uses and everything else, whereas this here is a little more durable. And it's not too noisy either, so we'll just plug it in, because a lot of people usually ask about the noise. Okay, right now, I'll have to let the air out so it gets compressing again. Oh, it helps if I turn it on. So that's it. It's really actually not much worse than some of my old hot air stations that had the diaphragm pump in them. It's definitely not overly intrusive, and of course it cuts out. This one goes up to 4 bar, and then it cuts out. There's no oil in it. It's just a well, whatever they use. Some of them use a carbon-lined cylinder, some don't. They're about to cut out. There we go. So, and that actually gives you quite a lot of air, so you can leave it off and get a good run of air without having to turn it back on. And if I ever should happen to want to do spray painting, a little artistic spray painting, I've always got this. But anyway, So yeah, for 120 or 119, I'm quite happy with that. I mean, look, the quality is shonky all around. I can see the switch body is off kilter, and this is a generic type system. They just slap their sticker on and say it's our brand and all that. But the nice thing about these ones when it comes to Bunnings is these do have a 3-year warranty on it, and you just take it back to Bunnings if it stuffs up in 3 years, and they'll give you another one. So you can have a pretty good long run with it. And weight-wise, I don't know, it's maybe 5-6 kg. It's definitely not heavy. So that was the big purchase of the day. What's this? We had an employee use that can compress before. However, the unit they were cleaning was still plugged into the mains. The can exploded. What? Why did it explode? Weird. Alright. The solenoid kicking in, or it's probably actually just a relay, I don't know actually. Kicking in and out on that for the when it reaches the right level, it's very quiet. I used to have a oilless one maybe 10-15 years ago, and it was loud as anything. I just couldn't use it for anything that I originally wanted. That thing there basically answers all the requirements I had. Alright, so let's have a look at these. Let's see, we've got a 165 and we've got a 3437. They're both pretty low spec from what I can recall. I mean, like I said, I really didn't pay much for them. Yeah, we've got a 1.7 gigahertz 4 gig board. This one has already been repaired at some point, contrary to the belief of some people on YouTube who seem to think that Apple don't repair main boards. Hereby consider this as my submission of proof. We've got a FRU stamp on this field replacement unit, and it's by Apple. And so yeah, this has been a board that's been out, got damaged, came back, got serviced, and sent back out into the field again. Kind of like a poor desperate military person who just simply wants to get out of the war because they've already taken 3 or 4 bullets to the head. Yeah, so this one's a 1.6 gigahertz 4 gig, so we're starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel, but hey, spare parts are spare parts. I think we will start with we'll go with the 3437 to start with. Hey, Joe Salsa. Well, I know what you mean, Miles. Yeah, they sub it out, but the point is that the boards are designed for repair, or by any nature, any electronics generally is. That's what I was meaning. As opposed to the boards can't be repaired. They're not designed to be repaired. It's like, it's electronics. The process of assembling it, in effect, is a repair sort of thing. It's, anyway, semantics, I suppose. But it is funny when, I mean, just the fact that building the boards, they often go through a couple of cycles back and forth in the factory, getting things fixed up. Okay, so we've got some corrosion there. Not sure what exactly the fault is on this one. Being a pedantic little SOB like that is a good way to get smacked in the face, I think. Virtually, of course. I'm a man of non-violent means, mostly. Amazingly, the SMC is intact on this. I'm kind of shocked. Oh, well, okay, yeah, okay. This is probably the real... That's probably the real damage. We've got a test pad gone, got a couple of nice juicy resistors there, some salty crust around them. Maybe this person was arguing with someone on the Apple forums and that other person was a PC owner. Yeah, okay, let's have a look at what that chip does, eh? What? It's been that long since I've loaded up a 3437 that I actually have to manually pick it out again. All that tells me is I need to make a longer history list. Okay. Miles, I don't think there's any BGA work on this one. You're dreaming, buddy. It goes U7600. Just okay, 1VO5. Okay, so hopefully that didn't overshoot, because if it did, then basically the PCH will be toast. So I guess we'll try to clean that up and see how we go. Yeah, so this creates the 1VO5, and then it sort of goes in through here, which goes into here, and that's some pretty shonky technique of getting the thermal paste off. It's like what you need to do is just gently slide and roll. Just making sure there's no distinctly obvious damage there. Then at least I get free Wi-Fi modules. I'm happy about that. Alright, let's get the cleanup going. You'll notice I haven't even bothered to connect this up and actually see how it behaves or anything like that. Because most of the time when I get these boards from this particular place, they do have typically liquid damage on them. So I may be risking doing some rework that ends up being a dead CPU like we did the other night. But I'd rather do that than risk destroying a potentially good board because of not getting into the visible damage first. It's all a matter of what you want to choose as your risk factors. And some people are like, well, I don't want to waste time on this because it's time off other jobs. It's just a case of choose your risks and go from there. And just because you choose a different risk to someone else doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Although obviously if I've chosen it and someone chooses something different, they're wrong. So it's pretty simple. See ya, DJ. Hey, Raj Dunyal. Was it Daniel? Daniel? Could that be pronounced as Daniel? Interesting. Missing PM sleep S4, don't have a oscilloscope. How can I make sure if it's pulsing or not? Depending, if you've got a multimeter and you've got a min-max mode on it, you can set it to max, and if your multimeter is fast enough, it may catch that. Other than that, yeah. Have you looked at the 165 board for the PM Sleep S4L diagnostic sequence? So if you go to schematics, so yeah, on the 165 board, on the open board data, there's all these rails you can test to see if they're present, and if they're not, then you got a chance of finding out what's causing your missing PM Sleep S4L. If you get through all of those and they're all good, then you've probably got something that might be better off in the bin. Any update on last night's board, Miles? No, I didn't get a chance to because, like I said, I was in Townsville today. What's really ticked me off though is that the whole original purpose of me going to Townsville was to drop off a job to someone, and I left that job behind here. So very, very much not happy with myself over that. It's no fun driving over 300 kilometers and chewing up most of your day only to realise you failed on your primary objective. I realised probably about 5 minutes out of Townsville, and I was like, you freaking idiot. Guess I can't be perfect every day, eh? Hey Yindi Mara, how's it going? Yindi, by the way, I did get a message from your friends, and I'm trying to work on something for them. I haven't forgot them, in case they sort of might message you and say, hey, you know, this Mr. Daniels guy, he's been a bit sus here, he's not really stepping up and giving us anything yet. Hey Catherine. What's hard, Yamara, is I've sort of set the standard pretty damn high with your machines. It's going to be difficult to come up with anything quite as good as that in terms of spec and chassis quality. But I mean, obviously that's going to be reflected in the pricing. Yeah, it's just frustrating when it was like I said, it was the primary objective, and I completely missed it. It's like Elon Musk finally getting to Mars and then realizing they left Matt Damon there. It's tragic. I appreciate it, Yindi. I really do. And I will get around to it. Sort of lost my nut a little bit today as well, because after the Townsville debacle I got home and found out that the tiles that we want are no longer available. So we have done the back patio in these tiles because we said to the tiling place, we said, we're going to need about 150 to 170 square meters of these tiles. Can you supply those? Do you have enough stock? And they said, yeah. So we said, all right, fine, we'll take enough for the back room to make sure we like it, and then we'll come back and get the rest of it. It's all good. So we go to get the tile. Yeah, we go to order the tiles, and they come back and said, we got no more anymore. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, see, what doesn't help is that this is not a main distributor or anything like that here. This is just a satellite retail office. So they don't have any real sway. They can't put a hold on anything. Even if we just like said, look, here's $3,000, put a hold on it, it wouldn't have likely changed anything. So now I've got to go out and try and find 150 square meters of these tiles. Now there are some places in the US and there's some places in the UK that have stock of them, but not in Australia. So it's sort of a bit of a sucker punch. I know ideally we should have just bought the lot at once, but the thing is, that's like a $10,000 expense. It's the kind of thing you want to check first, because there's no showrooms around here to show us what the tiles would look like laid out. So all we could do is take the chance and install the tiles ourselves. Get them installed and go yes or no. And just to have that sort of thing happen, it's like, you've got to be kidding me. Because the original tile we wanted, when we went to order that, they said, oh, actually, we've only got a few square meters of that. So well, why are you even selling this tile when you've only got enough for a toilet? And that's it. So then to have it happen on the second one after it's been confirmed that they had enough stock, it's just like, oh no, it's really, really, I'll be blunt, it pissed us off something severe. And so we don't know now whether we're going to be able to get enough of these tiles. If we can even get 70 square meters, that will, or 60 even, that will allow us to do at least one half of the house, and then we can just sort of change the tile on the bottom half of the house. Oh, great, the day gets better. I just drove the tweezers through my finger. Yeah, it's not fun. For those of you who don't like blood, look away. So, anyway, I'll be back. I just got to fix this up. I'll just dry it off and then I'll soak it with some IPA. Then I'll put the glove back on. Damn. Anyway, that tweezers, they're very sharp. Very, very sharp. They will go through glove and flesh with absolute impunity. What's the name brand of the tiles? They, Bayard. The English translation is Bayard Matte Grey. Bayard is the style of the tile. What is it? Bayard Mate Gris is the Spanish. Yeah, Bayard Mate Gris. It's a 150 by 900 tile. Wood look, grey. Haha, that actually, that stings. Oh well, that's good. Let you know you're alive. Michael, they actually are in the UK, and I've sent a message to the seller there, but the trouble is I think they're a retail seller, they're not actually a distributor, and so they're not going to have any capability of sending that quantity, or any for that matter, over to Australia for any reasonable freight cost. Steve K, that's the trouble, is I don't want to have to rip up these tiles so I can get a matching set, because we're very happy with them, and when you rip up these things, there's always something else that happens, like maybe you damage the wall a little bit, or it creates a cascade of issues. So I really just want to leave it be. Damaris, you seriously used it for your bathroom? Oh, that's quite something. I'm gonna anyway. Oh, damn you! Sorry, I'm cursing at something else, not you guys. Let's see, Bayard. Yeah, gristmate. Gris is grey and mate is matte. Let's see. Switch over to schematic. But yeah, this is what they are. Oh, what happened there? in stock. Visit. Pretty sure this is the UK location. I think. Oh no, they're not the UK. That's Spain. I think. Is it? But yeah, so I've sent them a message and asked them if they will let me buy, 150 square meters. I guess we'll see. And they do look very good. We have actually used very dark grout, and it gives that nice sort of gapped effect of wood planking. So anyway, so that's the tile. I noticed they don't have the matte on that, but I guess it's implied really with this. But it's a nice tile. It's not the cheapest. It's not the most expensive, but we just want them. And we're definitely not ripping up. So anyway, yeah, we were going to do our entire house with them, except for the areas that are obviously carpeted at this point. But what's this? This is obviously just different cameras taking photos, because there is a little bit of a beige color in it, but it's not what you would consider a beige tile. It's just dependent on the actual particular piece of tile that you happen to have. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's get back to the overhead microscope. But that's my personal gripe of the day, sorry to say. And like I said, it was just more of a sucker punch, because we've already been struggling to try and get things done around here, time-wise and all that. It's one of those cases where we finally have the money to do everything, and everything else is not going how we want. Oh, do you, Greg? Okay. Like I said, I mean, there's obviously some stock still out there, but whether they will be willing to ship them at a reasonable shipping cost, that's going to be the trick. Yeah, it's definitely not a 2-minute job. Well, we had professional people come in to do it, and they did a spectacular job. That's the other thing. We're extremely happy with how they turned out, even though they weren't our first choice. Ideally, I would like to find stock in Australia. I'm kind of thinking there's got to be someone who has them sitting in their warehouse, but they don't have it listed on their website or anything like that. I can only hope. Steve K, what are you suffering from? COVID, did you have your COVID shot and you're suffering side effects? Sorry to hear that if you are. Okay, Greg, I'll catch up with you later. Tony, it is a textured finish. It's not a very deep texture, but it is more of a surface roughening, so that it's certainly not gloss. It's the kind of thing that you can walk on with wet feet and not go backside overhead sort of thing. So it's a safe tile to be walking on, relatively speaking. Alright, so that's that. Don't really have to worry about that test point. That's kind of already fine. There was that damage around the backlight area. Steve, no, that's not good at all. I mean, obviously it affects each person a little bit differently. Sorry to hear that you're copping a bit of the brunt, the bad side. On the upside, consider it just simply as your body doing an excellent job at fighting it, rather than being a lazy immune system. Yours is actually going to town on it. Damares, let's see. Ooh, Dropbox. The aspect ratio looks a bit different on those ones. That looks like a 600 by 150. Then again, I suppose it depends on the cut, but that's certainly quite similar, isn't it? I think that's a 600 by 150, maybe the same patterning, but just a different aspect. Braden Smith, this is a 3437, so it'll be a 2013 probably. Let's see if this thing actually fires up. Okay, so it's a gristmate, and it's Bayard, but they've got it at 600. So basically, they've taken the 900. So ours are 900, and so yours is the slightly more square aspect. Interesting. Interesting to see if we had a choice whether we keep the same patterning, but go with the shorter aspect. I think we'll probably want the longer aspect though, because it does provide a more authentic wood look. Let's see. I need a chipmunk here. Got chipmunk over here. Okay, we've got power up, 600, that's looking pretty good actually. Wait, oh yeah, 3437, so it's gonna go on off. But it hasn't come back yet, so that's a bad sign. We're stuck at 27. Okay, I have a feeling this one might have had its PCH toasted. That or maybe the clock chips copped some damage. Doesn't look like it. Okay, Damaris, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, but certainly the 900 I prefer. I know that we would probably end up preferring to go with a slightly different patterning than lose the aspect ratio. In a bathroom, if it's the only room with it, then I can sort of understand that being viable. Hey, Villaneko. I should have known there was trouble afoot when I saw that the date of the making of it was 2019. I should have known this is going to be a run out scenario. I should have known to immediately order everything I could. But like I said, yeah, you can almost guarantee the universe. If I had put down, say, the $10,000, it would have ended up being a terrible tile for some reason or another, and we would have basically wasted 10 grand. And I'd be here complaining yet again. So no matter which way the universe twists and turns, I'm going to be complaining. I wonder what's going on here. Why it's doing the one boot and then nothing. It's actually a bit of a tricky one. Like I said, I won't be surprised if the PCH is trucked. I was just kind of hoping I would have found something a little more obvious. Let's check that cap up there. Two caps you just replaced. There was a solder bridge between them on the left side. Admin media, you mean these two things? The resistors? I haven't replaced anything else. See what our resistance to ground is on PP bus. Looks legit. Damn, I'm gonna have to think about this one. Oh, wow, the hits keep on coming. Let's check the CPU resistance. It's always a harbinger. 71, so that's perfect good. Damaris, thank you very much for Cosmic Alignment title. Let us hope that happens, Damaris, I really do. You'll certainly hear about it right here if it does. Yeah, 71 ohms, that's, that CPU's alive and well, or it should be. I can check. It's funny, I haven't done a lot of open board data work on the 3437 for some reason. I've just basically been pumping in the the 165s, so it's a little bit prejudice of me. Okay, we'll try this one. Okay, Travis, you take care. Because this is a 3437. I don't know which particular CPU it is, but it's going to give us at least a ballpark at this point. Well, this one's 229. Okay, so wow. Yeah, you're 1.4. Right, that makes sense. This one here is a 1.7, so it makes sense that the 1.4 will be a higher resistance. I got a 1. Oh yeah, I got one here. It's a 1.7, but it's an 8. 8 gigabyte. But that shouldn't affect the CPU side. Shady Hacker, I think the main thing that makes MacBooks easier is the availability of the data. Not specifically the design or anything like that. Alright, so this one actually says 162 ohms, so maybe we do have a problem with our CPU. Yeah, that's 160. And yeah, 1.7. Yeah. So maybe this is toast after all. I can't think of any compelling reason why the RAM size would change the CPU resistance. And yes, certainly from getting the boards out, MacBooks are profoundly easier. I mean, some PC laptops you can get out quickly, but most PC laptops are a freaking nightmare. I mean, I like my PCs. I use Linux, and I built my own PC. Yeah, everybody's built their own PCs. That's nothing special. But I still have a lot of them, my servers and things like that. But I do have to greatly appreciate, for the most part, how easy MacBooks are to disassemble and use. Okay, Catherine. Take care. Thank you for dropping in. Must be fun. Some new Lenovo's are a nightmare. What I really don't like about the new machines is that they're going for like 1 mil thick circuit boards. It's like, why are you doing this to me? Okay, so we've got a fan spin initially, it drops out and then it doesn't come back. So the question is, why is that happening? It's not a quarter fan spin, it's just not coming back after that initial test. Alright, Kazim, we'll see how we go. Unfortunately, it's a weekend, so I'm not getting any more parts in, but yeah, you never know. And it's only half a watt, so that's... We'll do some voltage measurements and see what we can find out. Could be a bad SMC for all we know, or the EFR, BIOS. Let's dig in and find out. It is sad though that Apples are that much easier to work on, only because they actually build it on a proper board size and make it... don't do that, Paul. Continuity mode in voltage input is not really a good thing. Okay, so the SMC is good, I should know, because we've got the MagSafe light. So 342 should be good. Yeah, that's pretty much bang on. So I'm going to actually go through my PM Sleep S4L sequence here. Even though this is a 165, we can get away with it. And I'm going to take it out of the chassis because I do have to board flip. We don't need the fan. By the way, for the people who are involved actively with repairs and all that, please be aware that we now actually have the 8200-2020 board available, and the story behind that becoming available is quite interesting. I'm going to just copy it across. Okay, SCP. Let's see. Why do I feel like I'm missing a digit there? Anyway. Look away, you little... Yeah, wrong screen pull. Okay. Bring up this. I will come back to the other board in a second. I just want to show this off. I need to actually make a video about this board. The first thing you'll notice is that it's actually a BVR file. It is not a BRD file. And as you can see, it's an M1 board, so this is legit. And yeah, everything's there, and which is really nice because now we actually have CD3217 with M1. It makes it easier for us to track things back and forth, and it probably might help us with the 1958 situation as well. But why this is interesting is because, as you see, it's a BVR file and not a BRD, and that's because someone took the time to generate this board view file. It is not actually from Apple. The person has gone along, and over the course of a couple of weeks they have built this board view using the information available to them through the schematic and some other sources. So this here is a custom generated board view specifically, and it works at the moment. Only Flex board view will be reading these BVR3 files, the version 3 file. It wasn't intentional. It is in plain text, so someone else can write their own decoder. I'll put the spec out at some point. The only reason why I haven't put a spec out is because I didn't really consider it completely finished yet. But yeah, so they put this hard work into it, and what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to talk to Lewis Rossman, who will talk to his supplier with regards to the right to repair movement, and I'm going to see if we can get grants for people to do this sort of thing, because this is hard work. This is basically 2-3 weeks of paid work, and I figure, a couple of $1,000 as a grant to let people do this sort of thing. If we have a board that we don't have access to from Apple, then hell, I'll even pay it out of my own pocket so that everybody can get to it, because we need to be able to do this, because at the moment we're losing the race. Board views are not being released anymore by Apple in general to the public. Like before, we'd get these BRD files just dropped off surreptitiously somewhere. It doesn't seem to be happening anymore. It seems to be going more the way of the iPhones, where everything's locked up behind the wall in the East, and you have to pay every day basically to get access to it, and you never know when the servers are going to go down or anything like that. So being able to actually have our hands on a static file, as in a file that you can download and keep, is fantastic. So yeah, I've got no problem paying someone a couple of $1,000 to generate these board view files, as long as they work. Of course, I'm not going to pay a couple of $1,000 for a shonky ass outline with dodgy parts and mismatched nets and things like that. But if it's done properly, then I think we can get some grants for people to do that. It's hard work, it's slow work, it's boring work if you are a person who doesn't like to do things like accounting or anything like that. It's a methodical stuff. And what I will be doing is, with Flex Board View, I am creating a Flex Board View editing version, which funnily enough, the person who generated this actually worked out how to activate it in my software. There is an editing module in Flex Board View, but it's hidden because it's incomplete. It's not user-friendly. It requires a lot of jury rigging to get it to work properly. But they actually suss their way out through it. And so for that, I'll give them big thumbs up on that. But the plan is to create a proper editing version of Flex Board View, so that you will be able to, say you find a mistake, say this, the lines don't go where, maybe these two are supposed to be swapped with those two. We'll be able to sort of press a couple of keys, edit part, and shift it across, or do something like that. So effectively it becomes a board view CAD, but it isn't actually an EDA CAD program in the sense of Eagle or KiCad. It's a slightly different thing. So I want to get it to that point, but it is a little bit of distance away, probably a year or a bit. But anyway, so yeah, it's very exciting to see the first ever actual BVR file generated specifically by someone in the community in order to be able to let us fix these boards. So it's fantastic. Anyway, let's get back to fixing the boring old 3437 now with a possible missing PM Sleep S4L. We will pull up the 165 because that's got the stuff we want. Hey, Dare Bear. Doing alright, all things considered. Yeah, Joseph, like I said, I'm going to try and get them a grant post. They've released this free, but I think they need to have suitable reimbursement for this. And certainly I am going to be sending them an open board data capture kit. I think that's the very least I can do at this point. And at least the BVR3 format, like I said, it's plain text, so I'm not hiding anything with that. I admit there is an encrypted version, but I was sort of planning on that in case people would be like, look, we can release a board view file, but we don't want people to be able to decode it, which is kind of silly because once it's in the program, it's going to be decoded. Steve K, I'm about the least genius person in this industry. I'm more of a random gopher. I can't remember anything about these boards half the time. I've got to constantly check back. My software is dodgy as hell, but the only difference, as I always say, is that I actually have software out there. as opposed to the theoretical programs that people think are better, even though they're not even in existence. Okay, let's get to this, trying to track down this PM sleep issue. I don't know if it is a PM sleep S4L issue, but I'm just going to go through those rails and check. Well, that's Michael Billman apologizing. Why are you apologizing, Michael? Phil, I wouldn't say I'm putting myself down. It's just that, I see other people. There are some people who have those, what is it, eclectic memories and things like that, and they can just recall everything about every board. Lewis is a bit like that too. I mean, don't get him started rattling off the faults, the boards, the variants, and things like that. I know what my strengths are in terms of what I can do. Like I say, aptitude's more my thing. Put me in an unknown situation, I'll generally work my way out of it. But I'll always generally be a runner-up or third type person. I may get things rolling, but I'm not really there for the win. But I'd say flex board view's something that I'm most happy about. Likewise, open board view, and I feel like at least with those two products, I've managed to make some sort of positive influence on the repair market. Trick is repetition and practice. It would be to a degree, yeah, because I can usually recite most things off a 165 or even a 840 board now, but other boards can leave me for dead. Yeah, Pionov is one of those people that knows a little bit too much about everything. That in itself is its own curse, though, because it can mean you end up bound in a bit of a spin cycle, and it can be difficult to get ahead with something. Alright, let's... Damn it, you're making me all chit-chat too much. Whatever, CPU side up, so we'll get the PM Sleep S4L off that top one there. And I'm about to botch all this up, but I'll switch back to quad mode. There we go. Like for me, I've got no dramas in creating utilities and tools to help me do the job better. I guess that's where my strength is, and I'm happy with that. Alright, so we do not have a PM Sleep S4L, but that doesn't mean that that is actually the fault. It could just be that we don't have anything else either. So we're going to go with RTC clock, which is one that I mentioned earlier. I'm just going to stick my black end into the chipmunk, so I only have to run around with one probe. Oh, I should know this one off by heart anyway. This is this one here. And we do have a proper 3.3 coming out of that for the RTC, so that's a slightly depressing but slightly positive thing. And let's see, now we've got the reset. Let's see, 4 resistors, a cap there. Okay, we do have reset. Hey Daniel. I share my knowledge. Maybe that's just a case of desperation for acceptance. Yeah, some people give away things that they really shouldn't. Okay, 3.2. Well, that's not true. I've always been one to put out a lot of things, unless I feel like I'm going to be commercially using it, like say Flexboard View. I will tend to open source a lot of things. I've been doing that since the early 90s. My first open source project was a TPU module or Turbo Pascal module for controlling multiple CD decks. A DJ, music DJ guy, needed to be able to control multiple decks, and I said, well, I can do that. And once I'd sorted that out, it was basically a driver for CD modules. Okay, we do have that one too. And it probably still exists to this day, mind you. I haven't followed up on it. Alright, to be fair, we actually need to measure frequency on this one. So pause, select frequency. We should hopefully see 32 kilohertz. Okay, we do indeed have 32 kilohertz. Hey, Hennis. Make a manual SMC reset. I don't think it's even at the point where I can do that. .3, we've got that one too. Not all of these are going to match up, but a good number of them will. That is a nice thing about the 3437 and the 165. There's a very broad range of compatible test points. 3.4, 3v3 sus. That's a good one. I didn't check 3v3 sus. And sadly we have 3v3 sus. Okay. Yeah, this is where there is a bit of a deviation on the 165 in this area here. There's like an inductor and a bunch of other stuff, so we can't pick up what we're looking for there. Hopefully we can pick it up here above the camera chip. So it looks like that's that one there. 3.3. It starts getting a little bit concerning when you get into this point on that list and you still haven't nailed the fault. Alright, we got a problem here. Okay, PM RSM reset L is... oh damn it, it is 3. I was hoping it was stuck in reset, but it's not. Okay, power button. Then after this we're just going to have to go through and check the rails. Yeah, all our rails are there, so we're going to have to just go through and check the rails. When I say all our rails, I mean for doing our PM4 PM sleep S4L test. Alright. Okay, well, let's start with the obvious. Let's see, we've got 342, we've got RTC. Let's check some of the others. Very convenient having the chipmunk taking off the ground pin, so I don't have to run around with two probe points poking on things. Okay, we've got 5 volts. Some of these things are just downright inconvenient to track down. 3.3. Did chat die all of a sudden, or have we just gone quiet? I think it's just gone quiet. Miles, the hook certainly works. I just don't seem to have a very good degree of luck with the hook. It always has a tendency to slip and you get intermittent values. Did you get yesterday's first Mac with the possible keyboard trackpad issues? I can't remember. I haven't worked on anything today. This is the first board I've had a chance to stick my nose under. Alright, so we're actually back to this point here. Oh, do we have a winner? We got a winner. 5ES4 RS3. Did I install this incorrectly? No, that's got pin 1 up there, that's correct. I'm going to check the rails around this. Maybe something's died. Mind you, it is SO. I think I need to check some more rails. Yeah, we definitely don't have this one, this S4RS3, which is where the corrosion damage was. Hey JCT, no, different board, yeah. This one I just picked up from Townsville. It was a whole $15 for me. So we should be getting 5 volts, and we're getting nada. What I can't work out is it's actually taken a SO rail input and KS3 enable. I'm just looking at the enables, trip modes. So it's boost. What do you generate? Okay, right. So we should at least hopefully be seeing that on pin 12, but we're not. So we should be... definitely got nothing there. Okay, so we'll trace that back and find out why. What chip I changed U7600 because that was what was damaged. Just power it off, go into the resistance mode. Just see if we've got a short on that line. And we do not have a short. It's a healthy line, so let's find out where that's coming from. Who generates that? As far as I know, that actually, I always thought that came from the DC inboard. Someone give me a mouse mat. Audio is weird. Still weird on the audio, or what's going on? Okay, that's a no stuff, so that doesn't count. Alright, let's use the diode mode in that case. We'll just have to switch things around. So according to open board data, even though it's a 165, it's like I said, it's going to be comparatively close. So 0.42. What was that one? Ugh. So the diode mode is pretty much smack on for that, so we can't complain about that. So we're just going to go along and find out where this rail is actually generated. Yeah, it's like, comes from MagSafe. Okay, here we go. This is it. See, it's got here 5V S4 RS3 power supply. Damn you, mouse, come on. Is that the chip we just replaced? I don't think so. I think it was the next to it. Yeah, this here. We'll go around, we'll check the diode mode values on that. Five six, 5.5, that's pretty close. 7.3 is close. .43, yep, that's close. 4.7, yep. 52, yep. 0, yep. 7.3 and 5.6. 7.3, 5.6. 3.5, 1.26. Yep. 4.7. 56, 52. 56. 52. 55, 13. Oops. 89. So far everything is coming up good. 35, yep. That's sort of fraction, yeah, no, it's close enough, yeah. We'll just keep it up, make a note. Just notice that. Look at that. That's got no, but that's ground anyway. But there's no solder on that, or very little. 4353. Wait. 43, yep. 53, yep. 6242, 62, yep. 40, yep. I'm just going around methodically, and I'm sure, yeah, like that cap looks a bit junky. Maybe the boost cap's down. I don't know. Okay, 9.7 versus 9.4. I would normally be worried about that. We'll keep that in mind. But like I said, this is 30, within variance still. Yeah, there's nothing dramatically different. Yeah, I really can't blame that in terms of diode mode. So what was David going about? C7600. I mean, if there was going to be drama with it, it would have. Guess we'll see. I mean, it certainly doesn't look pretty, so we'll check that. Zero. Yep. Oh, it looks like we already did check that. Yeah, that's fine. It was just a hair on it making it look like it was dodgy. Alright, so this was all the corroded area here. So what could possibly, what could have gone wrong maybe? That's soldered. What about these? Could they have been damaged? You're 2.2. Fortunately, 2.2 is low enough that you can almost, for sure, measure it in circuit. Yeah, that is the value it should be. Okay, that should be 0 ohm. Yep. That should also be a 0 ohm. I'm testing on the pads so I don't artificially, like sometimes if a part's damaged and you put your probes on the part, you can, because you're applying pressure to the part, it may actually rejoin the fracture in it, and so the part will actually appear to be alive and well, but really it's dead, and then you're just simply reanimating it through pressure. Okay, what's this cap here? What's that one there? Just going to go through and do the dirty here. Although nothing should actually be shorted because the diode mode test certainly didn't show anything. And a short is enough that it would certainly influence. I can try and replace this and see what happens. Why is C8165 missing? I don't know. You tell me. Because we're on the 165 board, not the 3437. Actually, I should really switch to the 3437 now. Yeah, 8165 is not even a cap in the 3437. And to answer the question, no, we don't get that voltage. We don't get the voltage there. Well, I'm going to replace the TPS. Sometimes we're just going to do the lazy man tech way. Just do the replacement. It is interesting that it is missing the solder for the ground pad. It happens. It's probably connected underneath, and there's multiple ground pads anyway. Yeah, the only reason I was using the 165 is because I had the guides on it, and the guides work well enough across the different models. I really just need to copy the guide across and make it dedicated for the 3437. Tough one. Yeah, you can see why I wasn't worried about that pad, because it's got the whopping great big round one there in the middle where it's the hottest. And someone's taken that one. No, I'm not sure what the designators imply, unfortunately. Yeah, and that one's missing the TPS. And guess what? That one's missing the TPS. And this one has a TPS. It's a very bad looking one, but it has one nonetheless. And since this is not a customer one, board that is, I can get away with doing this. Because this will likely just get added to my collection of 3437s that I need to get rid of. I'm really starting to think that my quick hot air station, I think the coil has given up a little bit, the heater element. Soon time for me to get another quick. don't know why it was misbehaving then on the switch. Alright. Let's see how we go. Let's see if we're doing any better or whether we're just the same as always. Geez, that didn't even come up for long at all. Hey, we're doing better, I think. Okay, come on up, come on back. I didn't like how it just glitched then. Oh, really? Yeah. Right, that behavior is all over the place. There's some serious knock-on effects or whatever has happened because of that damage it acquired. CPU do get bloody hot. I'll put a temporary heatsink on it. It really should not influence the way it boots, but we're just gonna have a check. And we'll even stick a fan on there. I don't know if maybe you did, maybe you didn't, I don't know. See, I don't like how it does that pop start. And see how it's got the long duration? I bet you it's not even come up now. Yay, we're back to where we were. Okay, so we momentarily had success and now it's back to how it was. Starting to make me wonder whether this is thermally related. Let's see, let's heat up something. Yeah, I'd say that divider, because that divider got ruined, it's caused some sort of knock-on effect. That 1 volt turned into something less palatable. Yeah, we got a temperature related fault here, I think. Because notice how when I heated up the area, it sort of started to bring back its behavior. The reason why we haven't bought the infrared camera out is primarily because it's only pulling 26 milliamp, so it's not really doing anything. Yeah, 27 milliamp. It's half of. I don't know what it's doing. Not working, that's what it's doing. The CPU does have a lower resistance than what I was expecting, but it's still like 70 ohms. So it's not 0, but it is lower than what I would normally expect. Oh no, it's my pen. Damn it. Yeah, kill your meter at that rate, Paul. Damn. Get 5 volt there. Maybe it's just been not told to turn on or something. Alright, so 0.6, that's a pretty unusual voltage. So something's either dragging it down or it's not generating properly. So we are having a bit more success, but it's not quite right. So yeah, we should be getting 5 volt here, and instead we've got 0.6. And unfortunately, this rail does sort of go many places. What's frustrating is the diode mode is actually perfectly within limits. Or at least it was 0.39, 0.443. So it's fractionally low, but it's certainly not enough to explain 0.6. 0.6 would take quite a bit of doing. What I can do is I can actually try remove U7600 again and see if it comes back up. So yeah, maybe there's something that U7600 is doing, maybe some damage that we didn't see, and if we take it off, maybe it'll bring it back up. Or we have problems on the TPS. Find a safe place to put this chip. That'll do. Okay, it's flickering away, which I'm not surprised because yeah, we just took out a key chip that it needs. But I am kind of curious to see what that voltage is. Okay, 1.4 volts, so that's really... yeah, the generation of that rail is still the problem. Which takes us back to U7501. Which is back here. So something here is not quite kosher. Why Apple board's black? I don't really know. It's not that it's a better material, it's just simply a conformal coat. Mind you, it is a matte finish rather than a gloss finish. Jeez, buddy, slightly loud. Hey, Dirk-chan. Yeah, I'm trying to... sorry, I'm just going over the schematics now. I'm looking at this and trying to work out what it's doing. See, it's got it here. I'm just not sure, is that actually being generated out of that pin, or is it... see, 5 volt switch, or is it being powered by that pin? Because we've got 3v3S5. Oh wait, no, I'm an idiot. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Right. Yep. Moron at work here. Okay, so this whole section actually does the generation, so if there's any of these parts dodgy, then yeah, there could be a problem. So it could be the feedback, could be anything. So we've got feedback here by the looks of it, VRED feedback. For some reason I thought it was just going to be some sub-rail that a lot of these chips they might generate through an internal LDO. Well, the green ones are painted, that's the thing. Yeah, plain circuit board is more of a slightly translucent beige fiberglass, unpainted fiberglass color. Right, could be any of these iffy looking resistors. We'll see which ones they are. Yeah, I am tired. Yeah, it's 1.4 with the but actually I'll put that chip back on, by the way, before I forget. If we put this on, it's 1.6, so basically we've got a loading issue, even though this chip probably doesn't use much. Just having it on there drops the output of that rail down to 0.6. Oh, it was actually one of the nicer drops I've had in a while. It's ever so fractionally offset, but the way it actually popped back into place was nice. There we go, all fixed. Okay, so we'll look at the damage areas here. So like, say we've got this, that doesn't look, no, that's okay. So it could be any of these caps that look a bit oxidized, resistors rather. Stop speculating, Paul, and start looking. Notice how that's got a little bit of resistor missing there. Oh, you can't see, damn it. This is why I should just stick in quad display and broadcast at 4K. It saved me a lot of drama. Okay, so those two resistors up there. It's entirely possible that this chip that I took from the donor board is also bad. Believe me, even though you would think I couldn't be that unlucky, trust me, I can be. Okay, we got a resistance mode. So one of them's a 10K, the other one's a 41.2. Okay, I don't know exactly which is which. Okay, so that's the 41.2. And that's the 10K. So those resistors are good, so the feedback divider, at least in theory, is good. If only Paul could just get them back on. Alright, so we're going to go through and we're going to try the technique of simply cleaning up the end caps on these parts, and if any of them should happen to make a sudden move that we're not expecting, then it may be a culprit. Except when it's already really hot. Oh, wait, that's my soldering iron, not a freaking tweezer tip. Yeah, I saw that, Barry. I don't know whether he was just trying to be nice and give us a live stream for a change, or whether he legitimately wanted to do something. I know, unfortunately, the poor bastard is... You know, it's a bit of a drama for him to do board repair these days. I'd say his YouTube revenue would actually be going up quite a bit lately with all his political type videos. And political videos are always going to get more hits and, you know, shared out a lot more than board repair. I can only imagine what he gets per month for YouTube income. Well, I can speculate actually. I got some freaking paste on that. Not paste, thermal transfer. It is paste, yeah. Yes, Joseph, it is related to his hands. It's more than just his hands, but anyway, that's... I'm not going to really talk much about that. Let's see how we go, see if we made it any better. Or worse. It'll help if we can get parts not sticking on there. Lousy SOB. I'm going to change that TPS chip one more time, because it did come from a board that looked pretty assaulted. Damn, honestly, it's I have no recollection of taking these chips that many times, and yet apparently I do. Because pretty much every donor board I've got, it's missing. Colourful language get it? No, his colourful language doesn't get it demonetized. Talking about SMC reballing and the individual things on the SMC reballing, that gets you demonetized faster than yelling curse words. Playing the innuendo game generally will get you demonetized faster than most things. This one isn't looking so great either, but it'll be interesting to see if it changes behaviour. I feel like I'm missing something obvious here. Something that my 2 o'clock in the morning brain isn't picking up. And I apologise if I don't find it and then I work it out later and you all miss out, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Why does that feel so completely wrong? That is because it's wrong. And it's out of focus. Hey, it's Soul Shop. Hey, Jason, what are you doing up so late? Yeah, that's some seriously shonky alignment there, but we're going to roll with that for the moment. Hey, any 555? Ah, straight away it does that little pop start. Now there's something. The heat makes it slightly come back, and that's a real concern. It's a concern because sometimes that means that you've got an issue in the actual circuit board. And particularly given the location of the heat, it's kind of making me feel like it's a little PCH-y. Alright, what else have I got? I'm clearly missing something obvious. Yeah, I will get rid of the blobs. Yeah. All in good time. Let's see, Q7520 could be blown, dodgy, something like that. Not really the sort of cap inductor I like to get off the board, but you know, not inductor, chip. That's that one there, by the way. Yeah, it could be dry joints, dry humour. It could be a boost cap failure too. Like these things, if they die, then it won't drive the gate open for the top side. And that kind of looks a bit dodgy, that one, doesn't it? Yeah, we'll replace that. Oh, shite. Yeah, it looks dodgy enough in my wishful thinking mindset that it's worth replacing. There's no point putting voltage in because the damn thing hasn't got a short. I wish it did. I really do. But what gets me here is that I can't think of any compelling reason why this would be dead from the liquid damage, corrosion on the divider on the other chip. But you never know unless you try. I mean, it is possible it's an active short somewhere, in the sense of it only manifests when the system is on. Or maybe it's a dodgy low side MOSFET somewhere, and while it's off, you don't see it. It's just a bit of gunk on that cap. It's not damaged. This is Barry, what you ask? Have you checked the fuse? No, I haven't. And you know what? It could easily be a zombie fuse. That is a potential behavior of it. Though I did check it before, but we'll measure the resistance again. I wasn't checking resistance last time. But here we go. And that seems perfectly fine. At least it didn't jump pop then. Still nada. Let's check the enable line for that output. Let's see, pin 4. Okay, we're not getting enable, so it's not even being told to turn on. Ow. That said, it's not to say that it's always that case. What we'll do is we'll reboot it with the probe in place and see if it makes a jump. I suspect it will make for an instant. Okay, we're going to reboot now. Yeah, you can see it jumps fractionally. Enables it. And drops off. Okay. And likewise, we're going to check this one here and see if we get any behavior. Okay, we get a steady 5 volts there, so alright. It's something else at fault. For some reason it shuts itself down. Alright, now I'll bring out the gym cam and see if anything fires up in the gym cam during that brief sort of session. Bad bias, possibly, yep, that's another option. We'll have a look at it under the gym cam because I know a lot of people like to see the gym cam. I pity the poor bastards that start watching these videos and wonder, what the hell is a gym cam? Is that something you watch where people exercise? I say, yes, we're watching electrons exercise. Yeah, but which cap? That's the thing. Which cap? Oh, there's no power being applied to this board at the moment. So you can't all of a sudden just go, look, it's that, because there's no power being applied to this. The only reason why it's glowing up through here is because there's a hole in the board there. Yeah, it's 18 volts, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Now what you want to look for something that goes bright but then shuts down. Okay, the RAM comes up, but nothing really. Looks like the 27 milliamps is being handled by ISL and something else. Actually, I think at the start of the week I heard from Jim, but that's about it, to be honest. And I did actually make message. I might send him an SMS and find out what's going on. Because you're right, he normally is quite eager to be here, and he's not at the moment. Josh Potion, yes, that cap over there, that's right. That part's the fault. Which part? That part. Yeah, that didn't look very good. That looked like the upset little CPU. Yeah, Barry, Tony was just asking that. That's what I was answering. Yeah, that looks like an upset CPU to me. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it's just warming up normally. Try it again. But that's, yeah. I think we, have a bad CPU on this one. So I think this is a donor board. Bugger. Which sort of explains why its resistance is about half of what an equivalent board is. that I pulled out earlier. So, oh well, crap happens. Yeah, it certainly didn't look good. It's the way it goes. Cookie crumbles, not always in your favour. No dramas. We had fun digging around. And like I said, it's cheaper than a donor board for me. So I'm still more than happy to get them. Because like if I get a donor from AliExpress, it's something like 40 Australian dollars, and they're always completely trashed. So at least this way I get a donor and I get a Wi-Fi module, and this is a complete donor. As in, I've got all the RAM chips there if I need them for some other jobs, which I have had in in the past. So, oh well. Make a note to drop the CPU. The way I do that is by going yeah yeah yeah. There you go. You can't really see that, but a couple of X's on there. That's it. It's an X CPU. So yeah, lots of good parts on there. SMC and everything like that would be good. It is a 3437, so it has slightly less value than perhaps the 165. But it's getting late now, so I'm basically going to retire, go watch some Criminal Minds, and try to fall asleep. So thank you everyone for being here. See, I can't even speak properly. It's a bit messed up. I will try catch up with you tomorrow and see what happens. But until then, you'll take care. Best luck for your own repairs. I'll see you next time.